Slipping away. The surplus oil production capacity could totally disappear in the next 2 years. That's according to a new report put together by the U.S. Joint Forces Command. So what does it all mean? And how will this impact other issues? Radio host Alex Jones is in Austin, Texas, to weigh in on it all. Hey there, Alex. You know, as we know, it's never just about oil. In this report that we're referring to, military leaders specifically say this could exacerbate other unresolved tensions and have a serious economic impact on countries like China and India. I want to know what your take is on all this.
Well, Christine, it's good to be here. This is a subject that I've researched in great depth, and really it's broken down into 3 parts. Number one, we also see hype coming out of governments in the West claiming that we have peak oil and that there's not enough oil in the ground. But I live in Texas. I mean, you can drill almost anywhere and find oil and natural gas, and they're finding giant reserves in the Gulf of Mexico. Russia has massive reserves, the North Sea. I mean, the world is awash in petroleum, but there is a shortage in refining capacity, especially in Western Europe and the United States. And the Associated Press in 2006 sued, and they also sued in 2000 and got separate groups of documents from 1995 and 96, almost 15 years ago, where the top 10 oil companies in the U.S. and England got together. And these were internal memorandums with their cartels and said, there's too much oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to push for government regulations and control, and we're not going to build new refining capacity to refine the plentiful oil to create a bottleneck. So regardless, we'll get high prices because the big oil companies also predominantly control the refining. And so the Pentagon's coming out and saying by 2015 we're going to have this big shortage. That's really just propaganda and a pretext to invade more nations and an excuse to do that. But also, last week, Bilderberg sleuth Jim Tucker, whose predictions have never been wrong, from inside Bilderberg, his sources said that they were planning to run it up to over $100 a barrel in the next year, and they were going to make claims that they didn't have refining capacity and then oil was running out. And then a week later, we see that in the London Guardian. We see the Pentagon coming out and pushing this propaganda. This is propaganda. It's just that with the Anglo-American oil concerns, Dutch Royal Shell, of course, British Petroleum, ExxonMobil, and others, they have a cartel. They've been caught for more than 50 years fixing prices together. And the reason they invade Iraq and other nations and Afghanistan to control the pipelines isn't just to control the oil out of the ground itself, but to control who's able to get that oil, to cut it off from China and others. So it's about the control of oil, not just the sale of oil. This is the larger geopolitical strategy that's taking place here.
I was going to your point, I was going to mention, I mean, it's pretty interesting that this warning is coming from the United States military. 2 years is not very long. Why aren't we hearing anything from, for example, the U.S. Department of Energy on this?
Well, the Pentagon gets around half of our tax money, and it doesn't defend America. It defends the private offshore banks that have captured this country. And so basically, they're always a mouthpiece for propaganda. I mean, the last decade, they've been one of the biggest groups promoting man-made global warming, along with NASA. And the head climatologist at NASA and many Pentagon officials say they want a post-industrial world to be able to control the population. And so when the Pentagon says something, that's basically the offshore banks saying it. They don't work for the American people. And so they push man-made global warming. They push fake terror. Governor Ridge, the head of Homeland Security, admitted that with the Pentagon, they would issue fake reports in the last 8 years under Bush, claiming that terror alerts were higher. Governor Ridge, the former head of Homeland Security, admits that was a lie. This is all just part of fear-mongering so that when people are paying $6, $7, $8 a gallon for gas and oil's over $100 a barrel, that in people's minds the implanted lie will be there that it's some type of real scarcity. But really it's like De Beers and the Oppenheimer fortune with the diamond monopoly. Diamonds are semi-precious, but they're only found in a few areas geographically in South America, Africa, and a few other areas around the world. And so they artificially come in with government regulations, with government that they pay off, and they brag about this, to not allow diamonds mined by other interests to be brought to market. So diamonds are one of the most expensive gems out there when they're basically almost worthless.
So just very briefly, Alex, one final question. You think that people in the United States, just average people, don't have to worry about this report that says that they could run out of oil?
Oh, no, no, no. They do have to worry. We're not running out of oil, but we haven't built a new refinery in over 25 years because the government and the oil companies won't allow it. So they've created an artificial scarcity. Just like with diamonds and many other things, they're creating artificial scarcity with water now. And so they're going to lie and say that we can't get you more oil and just basically rob people. So, no, we do have to worry. Oil prices are already exploding.
All right, Alex Jones, as always, good to talk to you.
Thank you.